All right, let's go. Hey, let's play the Stone of Erech. Another POD, one I accidentally skipped. So the disappearance just tells us how to set up the quest. We put these cards aside out of play. We're going to add Throng's neck as the active location. It's 3 threats, 6 progress. And while it's the active location, forced at the beginning of the encounter phase, the players must either immediately end the encounter phase or the first player engages all enemies in the staging area. Okay, that's nasty if there's a bunch of enemies in play, especially in a multiplayer game. We're going to set these Eveningtide, Dusk, and Midnight objective cards here. So this has a getting darker, it's getting later at night mechanic. So you start with Eveningtide in play. And this says at the end of the round, place 1 progress on Eveningtide. And then if there are 4 or more progress on Eveningtide, add it to the victory display and put Dusk in play. So we are going to try to not have it get too late at night. The later at night it gets, the worse this quest gets. All right, 1B, 6 progress needed. When revealed, reveal 1 encounter card per player, adding them to the staging area. Players cannot defeat this stage while Throng's neck is in play. Before we reveal that card, we should have already drawn our opening hand. So to help us out here, we have Barivore, 10 threat, 2/2/2 lore, 4 hit points, action, exhauster, choose a player. That player draws 2 cards, limit once per round. I thought about bringing her or Biffer. I decided to go with her. We're also bringing Sam Gamgee. He's a hobbit, 8 threat, 3/1/1/3. Response: after you engage an enemy with a higher engagement cost than your threat, Ready Sam, he gets +1 to his stats until the end of the round. Okay, and then we're also bringing Aragorn, so 12 threat, 2/3/2/5, Dunedain, Noble, Ranger, Sentinel. Response: after Aragorn commits to a quest, we spend 1 resource from his resource pool to ready him. So because this POD was released just after the Black Riders came out, Blood of Gondor, I have to go back in my card pool. There's a lot of cards I can't use, so I really had to recondition myself with building a deck with such a limited card pool. It also makes me really happy I decided to skip a bunch of quests at the beginning of this progression series because, man, I think you just get burned out using the same cards over and over and over again. So I think I made the right call here. But we do need to play this one. I didn't mean to skip it. I was playing the Siege of Annúminas and Attack on Dol Guldur, the PODs, and that made me realize I never actually played the Stone of Erech. So I just went back and played it. All right, let's look at our opening hand. Nothing in particular I'm looking for. Steward, Sword That Was Broken would be nice. All right, Daron's Runes, some healing, a sneak attack. This is just a card draw there. Ever Vigilant will ready an ally. And the Protector of Lorien will boost willpower. Nothing I really want, but I can draw 3 more cards. Barivore can draw me 2 cards. I'm drawing enough cards. I'll probably find what I'm looking for. The whole trick of this quest is boosting your willpower. So when you attack these enemies, they have the spectral keyword. And what that means is they're dead. So attacking with a sword won't kill them. You need to attack with your mind, so willpower. All right, let's reveal this card, and we get a location. It's Blackroot Graves, 4 threat. Yuck. 1 progress. Blackroot Vale traded. All right. Forced. When it's explored, return the topmost undead enemy in the discard pile and put it in play engaged with the first player. So if we don't have any enemies in the discard pile, that's the perfect one to clear. But I don't like we just added 4 threat. I don't have a good way to boost willpower right now. All right, everyone's going to get resources. I'm using my custom tracker. And we draw the Sword That Is Broken, so that will help boost my willpower next round. Let's play We Are Not Idle, so you exhaust X Dwarf Heroes to add resources and then draw a card. So I will exhaust 0, and I still get to draw a card. And we get Faramir. All right, so the next 2 cards were willpower boosters. Let's play Daron Runes. Draw 2 cards, discard 1 from my hand. Wow, and then Steward. Jeez, the next 3 cards were like the perfect starting hand. And an Erebor Record Keeper, which is really good. I think I'll discard this Ever Vigilant. That's readying a ally. It's good to ready Faramir. You can get 2 uses from his effect. I'm going to put Steward on Aragorn because I have all these leadership cards in hand. If I was a bunch of lore cards, I would have put it on Barivore. All right, Erebor Record Keeper can't attack or defend, but he can quest for 1. And then you can spend a resource to ready another dwarf if you exhaust him. But I'm just going to send him on the quest along with Barivore and Sam. So that's 6. Oh, what the heck. Let's send Aragorn. And I'm just going to assume I don't have any combat. And if I do, I'll just take it undefended. And we get Groping Horror. All right. When revealed, the first player must choose skip the next travel phase or each player must pass his hand to the player on his left. Okay. Discard your hand instead if you're the only player in the game. What a weird treachery. I guess I'll skip the travel phase. I mean, I'm not traveling anyway, but what a weird treachery. Alrighty, we placed some progress. We don't have any enemies to engage, so that does nothing. And yeah, we're okay. I thought about spending Aragorn's resource to pop him back up, but honestly, I just figured if I was going to get attacked, it wasn't going to be a very big enemy because my threat is pretty low, so usually lower threat enemies don't hit as hard. Let's put that resource on Eveningtide. Let's give everybody their money. Aragorn gets 2 more. And Master of the Forge, so that helps me find attachments. But I already found the sword that was broken. That was my big attachment, so I'm fine there. Protector of Lorien is also an attachment I'm glad I already have. Let's put Faramir in play so you can exhaust him to give everybody +1 willpower until the end of the phase. Super, super helpful in this quest where you're trying to boost your willpower to quest and attack. So I'm glad to get him in, and then next round I'll play Sword That Was Broken, and we should be able just to cruise through this quest. Honestly, it won't be any problem. I'm going to save my lore resource to try to get the Warden of Healing in play next round. And let's leave Barivor up. And we'll leave Faramir up. We're currently questing for 6 against 4. And I'm gonna ready Aragorn this time. And if we do have combat, I should hopefully be able to kill the enemy. But we get another copy of this 4 threat location. Yuck! Alright, well, 6 against 8, so Faramir will boost us by 3. So we make 1 progress. So we still haven't cleared Tarlang's neck, or whatever it's called. But we also don't have any combat, so that's nice. So we can use Barivor to draw 2 cards. We get another Sword That Was Broken and Gandalf. So now I have Sneak Attack Gandalf. That's always nice. I did Barivor's ability before I calculated my final willpower, just in case I drew something that could have helped me quest more, even though I don't know what that would have been. Maybe an Ever Vigilant, so I could have used Faramir a second time. And we draw Hennemarth River Song. All right, after placing our second token on Eveningtide. So Hennemarth's going to take a peek by exhausting him, and we get a Treachery Driven by Fear. When revealed, the first player attaches Driven by Fear to a hero, counts as a condition attachment with a text. The attached hero's willpower is 0, and the text box is blank except for traits. Oh, okay, so that's what we're revealing this round. That's not fun. I don't want any of my heroes to have 0 willpower, and I don't want to blank any of my heroes. Alright, let's play the Sword That Was Broken. So you attach it to Aragorn, and everybody that you control gets +1 willpower. So now, I am really sitting good for this quest. Faramir and the Sword That Was Broken. We're going to be able to defeat this quest pretty easily with those 2 cards in play. Now I just got to figure out, who am I attaching this Driven by Fear to? I guess I'll attach it to Barivor, so before we go into the quest phase, let's draw 2 cards, Hobbit Cloak and Gandalf. So her text box is going to be blanked until I draw a Miner of the Iron Hills to remove that attachment. So we're still in the planning phase, so let's give Sam a cloak so he can defend for more against an enemy with a higher engagement cost. Sam and the Record Keeper and Aragorn are going to be questing. Remember, they're boosted by 1. So it's 9 against 8. We're going to have Driven by Fear attached to Barivor, so now her text box is blank. But with the help of Faramir, we're going to clear the active location, and we're going to place progress on the quest. So that was a successful round, I guess, and we can travel to one of these Blackroot Vales, and as long as we don't reveal any enemies, which we haven't yet, exploring the Blackroot Vale isn't going to do anything. Our 3rd out of 4 tokens are now on Eveningtide, and let's go into the next round, and I have Sneak Attack and Gandalf, so I'm just planning on drawing a lot of cards until I can get a Miner of the Iron Hills so I can remove that condition attachment that's on me. So we go into the next round. Everybody gets resources. Aragorn gets an extra 2 from Steward of Gondor. The card we draw is... well, that worked out nice. I swear that's what happened. I did not... that was crazy. All right. Miner of the Iron Hills gets rid of that condition attachment. Well, thank you. That worked out really good. I mean, I didn't really need Barivor. I already have a ton of cards I can't afford to play. So Hennemarth takes a peek. We're going to get the Veil of Shadows, a 1-threat, 3 progress location. And when revealed, it's going to swap places with the current active location. So that kind of stinks because now I'm adding that 4th threat right back to the staging area. I was glad to get it out of there. And there's no enemies in the discard pile, so exploring it this round is perfectly fine. Okay, looking at my hand, there's really nothing I want to play. I can't play any of my lore cards. That's why Biffer might have been a better choice, because I can move resources to him so he could help pay for these lore cards. But getting the big leadership cards in play is how I win. All right, let's go into the quest phase after I draw 2 cards of Barivore, and we get another Miner of the Iron Hills and another Warden of Healing. Okay, quest time. So the Miner of the Iron Hills actually is questing for 1. And I don't know what I was thinking. So I guess I thought I was going to have combat this round for some reason. Either I thought I was going to advance and I might get an enemy because I haven't played this quest very much, so I kind of forgot how it works. But I don't send the miner. I ready Aragorn. I'm all prepared for combat. We go into the quest phase. I reveal this thing. Okay, yeah, I got to do that swap. And in doing so, I added a whole bunch of threat to the staging area. So I'm not advancing. I'm not going to the next stage. Even with Faramir, I definitely don't have enough willpower sent on the quest to advance to the next quest card. We do clear the location we just revealed, but yeah, I'm not advancing to stage 2. And again, I haven't played this quest very much, so I thought when you go to stage 2, you get an enemy or something. So that's why I played this quest phase the way I did. Should have just sent the miner for 1. Faramir could have boosted him as well. Should have kept Aragorn exhausted and not spent the resource. So, yeah, little mistake on my part, but it doesn't affect anything. It was just kind of a dumb move. Well, let's travel to that Blackroot Vale one more time, or Valley, whatever it was. Everybody's going to ready. I'm going to raise my threat. And then we're going to go to the end of the round, and we're going to place the 4th progress token thing on Eveningtide. So that means that goes away to the victory display, and now it is dusk. So it's later at night, and it's the same thing. End of the round, we place 1 progress here, and then once there's 4 progress, we'll advance to midnight. And you might have been noticing some of the cards we've been revealing have had effects that said if it's midnight or if it's dusk. So nothing in the staging area is being affected by the mechanic about getting later at night at the moment. Let's go into the next round. We get a very good tail. Okay, that's very good. I have Gandalf. He works great with a very good tail. Barivore is going to draw us 2 cards. We get the Steward of Gondor and another Erebor Record Keeper. All right, let's put that Record Keeper in. Just keep putting these allies in play, especially allies that have a willpower. And I think I'm going to play Gandalf. So let's pay full cost to get Gandalf in. I have to have combat this round, right? Actually, I should have used Tennemarth first, but I'm just putting Gandalf in so I can draw more cards. We get a Gaining Strength, an Envoy of Peligir, and the Protector of Lorien. Okay, Envoy of Peligir costs 2, then she kicks a resource back to a noble, and my only noble is Aragorn, and he's also Gondor, thanks to Steward. So he'll take that resource back, and yeah, that's a pretty good board state. All right, let's see what Hennemarth looks at. Again, should have done this earlier. Okay, we do finally get an enemy. It's the Shadow Host Captain. 42 engagement, 3/4/1/6, Spectral, and then when it's dusk, he gets +1 to his attack and defense. Midnight, +2. So Spectral, again, when you attack these enemies, you have to use your willpower. So right now, your attack values do nothing. Like, your attack stat is just a wasted stat. Willpower and defense are the only things you need to worry about. All right, so I know exactly how much threat I'm revealing, so I can quest for exactly what I need. And again, I can't remember what happens when I advance to stage 2, and I'm kind of enjoying playing this quest without knowing. I'm playing it like I haven't played it before, because it's been a while since I've played it. And I just knew if you brought a lot of willpower, you did well against this quest. We need to make 3 progress, so we are sending 10, and we're going to be up against 7, so that's going to be enough to clear the location and advance us to the next stage. So we clear the Blackroot Graves, that's what it was. And there is no enemies in my discard pile, so I don't need to return any of those. Stage 2A, the Terror of the Dead. When revealed, add the Stone of Erech to the staging area and attach Durafin to it. Durafin is a 3/1/1/2 Gondor objective ally. After the players have traveled to the Stone of Erech, the first player gains control of Durafin. At dusk, he gets -1 willpower. At midnight, -2 willpower. And if he leaves play, we lose the game. The Stone of Erech, it is X threat, where X is twice the number of players, 6 progress. It's immune, and then while it's the active location, characters of less than 2 willpower cannot ready. Then to travel there, we need to exhaust each character with less than 2 willpower. Okay, that's pretty nasty if you don't have willpower boosting going on or low willpower characters. Let's take a look at 2B, 8 quest points forced. At the beginning of each round, the players must choose. Each player skips the planning phase, or heroes do not collect resource during the resource phase this round. So if you have Steward, that kind of helps with the second one. So you can kind of do an alternating thing where you skip the planning phase and then skip the resource phase basically, but hopefully you can get through this stage in just one go. Let's travel to the Stone of Erech, and we're supposed to exhaust everybody with less than 2 willpower. That's nobody. And then here I think I'm supposed to have had a resource on Dusk, but I haven't yet. I have not put a resource on Dusk yet. I realized that later and take it off. So that is wrong. But when I traveled to the Stone of Erech, I was supposed to grab Durafin. And I thought it was when I explored the Stone of Erech. So Durafin should be under my control. I'm making this quest harder on myself. All right, Gandalf defends here. It's an attack of 5. There's no shadow. So Gandalf defended for 4 against 5. Gandalf will take 1 damage. And then we attack back with willpower. So the sword of that is broken is actually boosting our attack in a way right now. So Faramir is attacking for 3. Sam readied when we engaged that guy. He's attacking for 5. And Aragorn is attacking for 3. So that is definitely enough to take care of this guy, even with his boosts. So he is gone. We raise our threat. Everybody readies. And then in the action window, in the refresh phase, we are going to play a very good tale. And I am going to exhaust Gandalf for 5 resources worth of allies and the Envoy of Peligir for 2. So that is 7. And so I do have some pretty big allies in this deck, and my hope is to hit a couple of them with some very good tales, or at least one. Really, it's just a way to accelerate the deck. It's a great card, and it works great when you hardcast Gandalf because he readies before he leaves play. All right, not an ally. Oh, there's a big ally, Iristor. And then I can't put in another Gandalf. I don't have the resources anyway with the amount of characters I exhausted, but swapping Iristor in for Gandalf is nice. So Iristor, you can discard a card from your hand to draw a card. Okay, those other 4 cards get discarded. We're still in this round, and his ability is limit once per round, so this round we can trigger that. So let's discard a card from my hand to draw a card. Lots of cards to choose from. I don't need 2 Stewards of Gondor, so let's get rid of that. It's unique. The card we draw is a Valiant Sacrifice. After an ally leaves play, I can draw 2 cards. Well, an ally does leave play. It's Gandalf, but honestly, I have so many cards. I don't need to play that right now. I don't even know what I'd be looking for. Okay, we draw Haldir of Lorien at the beginning of the round. I took resources instead of playing the planning phase. Here I added the second token, and then I looked at my threat and did some math because we hadn't had any doomed, and I realized there should only be 1 progress token on Dusk, not 2. Okay, I can't play anything because I took resources, so I'm skipping the planning phase. Beginning of the quest phase, I'm discarding a card to Aristor, and we drew another very good tale. And the Miner of the Iron Hills should not be ready. He does not ready because we are at the Stone of Erech. And I realize that in a moment, so I do exhaust him. Okay, let's have Henemarth take a peek. A Restless Dead is coming, so it's going to engage us, and when it gets revealed, we have to return the topmost undead enemy. The topmost undead enemy is another Restless Dead. It was the shadow card from the last attack we had. I made sure that card ended up on top of the deck. When you discard an enemy and its shadow card from being destroyed, you can choose the order, and so I put the wimpiest enemy on top. Okay, so I'm going to have 2 enemies added. It's going to add a total of 4 threats. We're going to be up against 8, and I'm going to send as much willpower as I can. And I mark that we are sending 16 willpower on the quest. I think it's actually 17 when I'm looking at this and redoing the math right now, but I think it's 16, so that's fine. And we're up against 8, and let's not forget, I want to ready Aragorn, so he readied after he committed to the quest. And so that's going to be enough to clear the active location and put 2 progress on the main quest. I don't want to advance because I have these 2 enemies to take care of. And then I read Durafin and realize, oh, I should have already had him. So he would have committed to the quest. I would have committed him to the quest. So I do a little retcon and say, okay, he was already under my control. And he was committed to the quest because I'm going to send that willpower. So we're going to add a little more a little more progress to the quest. I'm not going to travel because I don't want to have to return an undead enemy once I explore it. We're questing for enough. Okay, these guys are both attacking for 3, so let's sneak in Gandalf And after some debate about what to do with him, I don't need cards. I think I'm just going to drop my threat because I know there's enemies that have 35 engagement, so it'd be nice to stay under 35. So let's drop my threat back down to 30. And then the first Restless Dead is going to attack Gandalf, so it's going to be 3 against 4. But when I was looking at all my characters, that's when I realized the Miner of the Iron Hill should not have readied. So I get that right. So everything's okay. No shadow there. Gandalf takes no damage. And then Faramir has 2 defense, right? Yeah, 2 defense, 3 hit points. So Faramir will defend this other Restless Dead, and no shadow there as well. Oh, goodbye, Treachery. I don't like you. Faramir takes damage. And now I can swing back with Aragorn using his willpower, and we can kill one of these Restless Dead. So we're going to go into the end of the round with 1 Restless Dead still engaged with us. Gandalf leaves at the end of the combat phase. I guess I'll play that Valiant Sacrifice. I honestly have way more cards than I know what to do with, and my board state is pretty much set. Hey, Celebrian Stone? I'll take that. All right, that's nice. That boosts somebody's willpower by 2. Okay, threat goes up. Everybody's going to ready. We're going to put the progress token on Dusk, so we are 2 out of 4 there. And now I need to make a decision. Do I want to collect resources or do I want to play cards? I think, once again, I'll just collect resources because, like I said, my board state is perfectly fine. I don't need to play any cards, really. So let's get the resources, and then I can have a big resource turn once we clear this stage. All right, I draw a card. It's another very good tail. So, I mean, I can get allies in using a very good tail if I actually needed to. So let's go into the quest phase, because you actually skip the planning phase. So we're going to start off by having Hennemarth take a look. It's a Treachery, the Midnight Throng. We're going to have to find an undead enemy, reveal it, and add it to the staging area. Okay, so I think I know which one I want to grab. So we're going to be adding an enemy, and we're going to be advancing, so I know we're going to get an enemy when we advance. So let's send just enough characters on the quest to advance and leave as many characters ready as possible. So if we send Aragorn, the Record Keepers, and Durafin, we are sending 10. We are currently up against 4. So let's reveal the card. We know what it is. It's that Midnight Throng. So let's find the enemy, and I'm pretty sure I know which one I want. Again, I haven't played this quest a lot, so I'm trying to go back on a lot of memories here. So this one surges, so we don't want him. The Shadow Man, he attacks for a decent amount, so let's not do him, and he has it when revealed. And we don't want this guy. He's pretty beefy with 3 threat. The Whisperer, that's who we want. So he's a 2/2/2/4, and he only gets +1 threat right now because of Dusk. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. So let's add him to the staging area. So we are currently up against 7, and we sent 10. So we make 3 progress, which is enough to advance. So I was pretty certain that I could add an enemy that only added 2 threat. So we're good there, and we're going to advance to stage 3. All right, the Shadow Host, when revealed, starting with the first player, each player searches the encounter deck and discard pile for 1 Oathbreaker enemy, reveals it, adds it to the staging area. Then we're going to add the Lord of the Dead to the staging area. There, I knew one of these stages we got a bunch of enemies. Okay, I'm going to grab another copy of the Whisperers. The Lord of the Dead isn't very nice. He's 30 engagement, 5, 6, 3, 9. Undead Oathbreaker, cannot have attachments. While you are engaged with the Lord of the Dead, treat each character's printed text box as if it was blank. So let's look at 3B. 14 progress needed. If it's midnight, we have to battle quest, so we use our attack finally. And then players cannot place progress on this stage unless they control Durafin. If the players defeat the stage, they have escaped the Black Root Veil with Durafin and won the game. I'm not really sure how that works, because as soon as Durafin leaves play, we'd lose. Okay, so I was going to start engagements, but then I realized once this guy engages me, my text boxes are blank. So hold on, is there anything I want to do before I get engaged? Because I don't want blank text boxes. Let's see, I will use Aristor, so I will discard the Sword That Is Broken to draw a card. Fast Hitch, that's nice. I want that on Sam. He's amazing because he can quest for a lot and then attack for a lot using just his willpower. Let's play Gaining Strength just so I don't forget I have it. So if a hero has 2 resources, they can gain a 3rd resource. So Barivor now has 3. Speaking of Barivor, let's use her and draw 2 cards. Sword That Is Broken and We Are Not Idle. We Are Not Idle draws me Daron's Runes. Daron's Runes draws me another Fast Hitch, and Gildor, I will discard the Sword That Was Broken. Okay, that was pretty successful. Okay, now let's engage. text boxes, blinked. Let's see if I remember that. That's a tricky one to remember. The Miner of the Iron Hills is going to jump in front of this. Attack boost doesn't matter because he is definitely dead. Okay, and then we are getting attacked for 3. Iristor is going to jump in front of that. And this says, if it's dusk or midnight, the attacking enemy makes an additional attack. Okay, so Iristor is going to take a couple damage. And then we will have the Envoy of Peligir jump in front of the second attack. There is no shadow. She is dead. And Aragorn is not ready. And I just forgot to ready him, and I'm not going to retcon it. I didn't do it when I was supposed to, so he should have been ready, and he could have helped do some attacking here. But you know what? You don't need to kill anybody to win the game. You just have to quest out. So I'm not going to attack anybody. Let's just go into the next round so we can win the day. So we got our resources. We get another Valiant Sacrifice. All right, we're going to pay full cost for Gandalf to get him in and kill one of these Whisperers. And then I have to do a little housekeeping. I forgot to do some stuff. So there should be a 3rd token on the Dusk mechanic. And then that also made me realize I didn't quite do my threat right last time. It didn't matter. But once Gandalf kills the one Whisperer, there's still 7 threat in staging because it's dusk. Let's load Sam up. So we're going to give him Celebrian Stone. He's going to get +2 willpower, so that's 6. We're going to give him a fast hitch so he can quest and then be ready to attack if we need him to. Let's give him a Protector of Lorien that we can discard cards to, up to 3. And for the phase, he gets +1 willpower or defense. And we can give him a 2nd fast hitch and a 2nd Protector of Lorien. He's going to be able to quest with 2 Protector of Loriens, the Stone, and the Sword that is broken for a total of 12 just by himself. And all we got to do is place the progress on the quest to win the game. So I start to use Henemarth to take a look, and then I remember blanked text box, which I think technically means Gandalf should not have been able to kill that guy because it's after he enters play. So Gandalf should not have killed that Whisperer. So there still should be 2 more threat in staging. But I think Durafin no longer loses his willpower. I'm pretty sure that's right. All right, well, at any rate, only characters' text boxes are blank. So the Sword that is broken still works. I leave Faramir up for some stupid reason. He's not going to be able to boost anybody. And so I am sending a total of 30 before I trigger any of the Protector of Lorien stuff. All right, so we are sending a total of 30 against 9, and we get a 3 threat enemy. Okay, so it's 30 against 12, so that right there is enough to win. But if I discard 6 cards, it's 36 against 12. And that is definitely enough to win. We don't have to kill anybody. So that's it. It's kind of anticlimactic, really. I wish you had to destroy the Lord of the Dead. But if I had to, I could have readied Sam. He could have defended. And then I could have readied him again, and he could have attacked for a lot. So, okay, that was pretty fun and pretty easy, especially after playing those other PODs. But it's a pretty cool quest. It's not bad, and it's kind of fun to rage quest against it after banging your head against some really hard quests for a while. So hope you enjoyed this video and looking forward to making the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.